answer is, I'm sorry, there's no nachos in Milagro because nachos are not Mexican. Normally in Mexico, we had teams of people coming into new projects. People you know, people you trust.
To show everybody what we can give them.
We did not understand what we did until we were here and we said, where are we?
The United Nations considers Toronto, Ontario, the most diverse city in the world. It's a mixed salad of flavors, textures, and colors. But in this cosmopolitan meeting place, authentic Mexican food is strangely absent. In fact, this is what passes for Mexican in town.
It's just not Mexican.
Or maybe this.
It's a monster.
Arturo, the tall guy, and his brother Andres landed in Toronto from Mexico City 6 months ago and have been appalled by the state of Mexican cuisine ever since.
On a scale of 1 to 10, if you serve it to a Mexican person in Mexico,
They would send it
they would
back.
throw it out of the table.
Now they're going to do something about it.
We want to be the first good Mexican restaurant in Toronto, and now I'm definite that we can be the first good one.
I love eating, I love tasting, and I love the pleasure of doing food that will give me pleasure eating it, no? And spreading it with somebody else.
They've picked one of the busiest locations in town, close to theaters and hotels, for Milagro, Spanish for miracle.
How are you? Pat. How you doing?
They've got everyone here today, designers, contractors, real estate agents, on the morning they're supposed to close the deal.
Today we'll get the keys if everything goes proper.
Closed.
They're gambling on a space from a restaurant that didn't make it. The former owner still has the keys.
So no matter how successful you are, or he was, or whomever is closing down, it's a very, very sad episode.
You may need to call your lawyer.
Let's keep this very simple. We have to go in right now with the seller. We have to do our stuff. Even if it's in writing and we shook hands, if there's anything he doesn't like, he might want to change stuff. So it has been difficult.
2 hours later, their real estate agent takes them in, and they go directly to the kitchen.
Look at this. People were being fed from this kitchen.
Do you know when was the last time probably that they cleaned this up? Look at this. I mean, it's really disgusting. This is like a sewer water.
They've gone to John Tong, one of Toronto's most important designers, for some help.
I'm really interested in the culture, the land culture.
It wasn't that long ago that the last owners created this faux castle look. The boys spent $300,000 to get the place. They have only $120,000 left for renovations.
Arturo and Andreas are very sincere. They have a very clear idea, a very clear concept.
So the whole concept was based on traditional cantinas of Mexico City, from the 40s and 50s, which is like a golden era.
When I think of that era, I think of people having a good time, people enjoying, people having the time to enjoy themselves.
Poverty was not an issue. Every business was flourishing. I mean, the 40s, the 50s, and the 60s in Mexico were wonderful.
There are some oddities in the space. The building itself is really heavy. The exposure to the streets is a little bit difficult.
The truth is, on $120,000, there's only so much John can do.
We're gonna have to decide which things get us the furthest and concentrate on those.
That's the huge challenge with a designer, so that he designs a restaurant that can look beautiful, but also matching my budget.
Arturo and Andre's families are not originally Mexican.
My 4 grandparents were Jewish Europeans escaping anti-Semitism in Europe between First and Second World War. I'll get the avocado soup started.
Yeah.
Over 3 generations, Mexican cuisine became their family's cuisine. They came to Canada with their families to escape rising crime. When they got here, they realized that they were a long way from home in every way.
I think we did not understand what we did until we were here and we said, where are we?
People think differently, people react differently. In Mexico, you say something and you know what to expect back. Here, you say something and the answer throws you off. And
Andres is an experienced chef. Arturo, a seasoned manager. Both have high-end experience in Mexico. They know almost nothing about getting things done in Canada.
It's hard. It's a difficult process. We haven't
finished adjusting.
I mean, it's two such complete worlds that I had no real notion.
There are no nachos, no goopy beans. The menu at Milagro will feature tapas-style appetizers called botanas, with simmered seafood and meats, like shrimp adobo.
This is like Acapulco.
Today, Arturo's wife, Veronica, is going to help make some decisions.
My role in the restaurant is just going to be supporting Arturo.
In Mexico, they're used to the very best and the very freshest. But they're finding out what they're used to isn't always what they can get.
So the fish apparently is giving a rotten smell.
It's not fresh.
I don't know what to expect. For me, that's my biggest frustration.
I'm very concerned. Andres says, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. But now he's starting to realize that these suppliers are not as high-end as we were expecting.
Opening night is 6 weeks away.
I'm gonna actually step backwards a little bit.
The only thing that I asked for John is I said, please do enough work so that the construction never stops. I think it's in our hands to push it somewhere.
Yeah, I think
and
that...
to make a final decision.
In Toronto, two brothers hailing from Mexico think that nothing the locals serve up is Mexican enough.
If you serve it to a Mexican person in Mexico,
They would send it
they would
back.
throw it out of the table.
They are determined to reform the Toronto appetite. And so, they're deciding on a menu that is authentic, yet not intimidating.
There are some dishes that really need tryouts. And to say, do you like it? Do you don't like it? What can we do? What can I take? More? Salty? Sweet? Acidity, you know?
In Mexico, a fresh blended spiced tomato puree is often served to wet the palate.
Whoa. Spicy.
It's spicy? No, it's just a little bit rough.
I think it's a little bit too spicy for me. And that's why we're here, to show a little bit of us to the Canadian people, to the Canadian palate. You have to tone it down just a bit. But show everybody what we can give them.
The avocado soup is made with milk, sherry, cumin, black pepper, chilies, and onion.
It's good. It's good. You know what? Let me see. It's amazing. I love the texture.
The shrimp adobo goes into tacos with the homemade tortillas.
No?
It may be a taste of home, but they know they have to win over people who have never seen food like this before.
Salud.
I mean, what are we gonna do for the first customer that walks in and says, serve me the best nachos in town? The answer is, I'm sorry, there's no nachos in Milagro because nachos are not Mexican.
It's supposed to be 3 weeks before opening, but on the inside of Milagro, there's no work being done. John, the designer, is still debating the aesthetics of a feature wall.
I'm gonna actually step backwards a little bit and, you know, to step forward.
He hasn't drawn any firm plans yet. No plans, no work.
My only concern, and the only thing that I asked for John is I said, please do enough work so that the construction never stops. I think it's in our hands to push it somewhere.
Yeah, I think
and
that...
to make a final decision, and then it can be the wood, or it can be the panels, it can be the fence, but they can at least put the drywall up. What I really asked them not to happen has already happened. I mean, we have the location, we're starting to pay rent, and there's nothing happening in there.
What about that corrugated, perforated metal?
I mean, I have no more sources, I have no more money, I already have a bank loan, I am maxed out.
Arturo may be suffering inside, but he refuses to lose his cool. In Latin culture, a gentleman must always be a gentleman. It's the same at home. His wife Veronica is an artist. She wants to sell Mexican folkloric art at Milagro, not just great food.
See, no, I mean, the idea has been pushed by Veronica, Maria, my mother, because they believe that we can have a little corner in the store, in the restaurant that is a store.
Yeah,
this has to be done discreetly, because if we don't do it well...
You're giving the people this great food, and then you're giving the whole Mexican experience, and then you finish up with being able to buy something from this, you know, enriching the whole experience.
It's a side business, it's not a business.
Yeah, but then, yeah, okay, we'll do that. And then see what's selling and what people are aiming towards.
I don't want it to take attention and energy
away
knowing
from
that
your
maybe
staff.
This is going to be 3%.
Because I think, you know, this is great. This is great. We can get it into, you know, I think people would be interesting for little girls or just a nice hostess gift, and they're inexpensive. These are pretty cool. These are the original ones. So I want these for sure.
It's 9:27. If he does not call in 10 minutes, I will be calling every 5 minutes, and I'm gonna get angrier. I've been looking for him. I left 2 messages. I'm tired, and I'm angry, and I want my kitchen done.
In Toronto, work has come to a standstill on Milagro, the city's first authentic high-end Mexican restaurant.
What I really asked them not to happen has already happened.
Andres and Arturo Anhalt, who borrowed everything they can, are now starting to worry whether they'll be open on schedule.
Truthfully, honestly, I don't think it's gonna happen.
The drawings everyone's been waiting for have finally arrived, but the designer's nowhere to be found.
What is the material that we're gonna see? What's the finish?
I don't know.
Are we gonna see that black?
And where's the mirror and where's the
No,
texture?
the mirror goes.
There's three
mirror
doors.
on the sides.
No.
Maybe the same molding as.
No,
the,
it's impossible.
Normally in Mexico, we had teams of people coming into new projects. People you know, people you trust.
This is paint?
So this is not the.
It's probably going to be painted the same as the bar, right? You must have talked to the designer about the paint. M6, painted MDF.
Everything you can think of is done differently in Mexico. Everything.
But there's no time to be homesick. 5 days to opening, and this is what the kitchen looks like.
Are they gonna come in today to continue the work?
What?
So they're coming, but we shouldn't be so worried.
But the contractors don't show up today, or the next morning.
But it's 9:27. If he does not call in 10 minutes, I will be calling every 5 minutes, and I'm gonna get angrier and
Tell him
angrier
we called
and
yesterday
angrier.
5 times.
Okay? I've been looking for him. I left 2 messages. I'm
Friend.
tired, and I'm angry, and I want my kitchen done.
They have to delay the opening a week. They are now $20,000 over budget.
Every time that there's a mistake or a delay, it really is costing Andres and Arturo.
It is now the day before the new opening, and this is how the morning starts.
Basically, they just brought it to break it.
Yes. Well, I'm angry and I'm disappointed, but, well, I can't control those things. What can I do?
But the news inside is better. It's going to be tight to make the opening tomorrow night. But the millwork is being installed. And finally, Andres has a kitchen. Today, they're preparing a sampling of the menu for the guys and gals who will be serving and selling, the point of this entire endeavor.
The chiles are there to give it added flavor, add a little punch.
There's no shortage of enthusiasm around this table, but nobody speaks Spanish and hardly anyone understands the food.
I want to try the spices. This is the first time that I've worked at any Latin restaurant.
So try it, share it, enjoy it, okay?
What we got going on, we have a guacamole. I'm not even gonna butcher the other word.
Huaxteco.
Huaxteco?
Guacamole huecto.
Guacamole Huaxteco.
Huaxteco.
The calabitas al carbón.
Andre and Arturo are gonna hate me, but I can't figure that one out.
Cebollitas al carbón.
Cebolata al carbón.
Frijoles charros.
Frivolo charo.
Frijoles.
Frijoles.
Slow-cooked beans.
Friol. I can't do it.
Frijoles. Frijoles. Frijoles.
I'm just gonna say refried beans.
It worries me because I can't go to the table and sell the dishes. They are doing that for me.
Now they say they can't fix them because they don't have gas. Like a carpenter who works without a hammer. Tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. Today's opening day and it's still tomorrow.
Arturo and Andres Anhalt, who want to open Toronto's first fine dining Mexican restaurant, are over budget and behind schedule.
I am maxed out.
They've delayed their opening a week, and are gambling on decorative rather than Spanish-speaking servers.
Cebolata al carbon.
It scares me, actually.
It's opening day. Not only is it raining cats and dogs, it's pouring on the inside too. Seems the pipes draining the air conditioner aren't connected.
We didn't know if we were supposed to push on to this evening's opening or not.
I don't know. I'm not an electrician, but I know that water and electricity don't mix.
What we said is let's wait for the experts, let them tell us what's going on, and if we think we can open, we'll continue, and if not, we'll just suspend everything.
The leaks have caused holes in the ceiling. It's a positively third world scene.
We don't have hot water today?
No.
They have no hot water because the motor for the vent is busted.
When are you fixing it?
Monday.
When?
Monday.
Whose word do I have? Your word?
Yeah.
The Latin gentleman struggles to stay a gentleman.
Now they say they can't fix them because they don't have gas. Like a carpenter who works without a hammer. Tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. Today's opening day, and it's still tomorrow.
After all the debate about a feature wall, all they could afford is some last-minute graphics. And even Veronica's tchotchkes haven't arrived.
The dolls haven't arrived from Mexico. The other pieces haven't arrived from Mexico. I'm not ready.
The experts have said Milagro will be ready to open in 3 hours. The ceiling will be patched, but there'll be no hot water.
I come from a country where things are very difficult, but they work.
But some things did work. Their designer was hamstrung by a small budget and an uninspired space. This was 2 months ago. He may have brought them in $20,000 over, but now the cocoa leaves, bright colors, and natural light have created a minor milagro, Spanish for miracle. Out front, despite all the stresses, Arturo digs deep for his Latin charm and somehow makes it seem like nothing has ever gone wrong. But in the kitchen, Andres is fretting that all the guests will arrive at once.
You know, like a Coca-Cola bottle, a lot coming in at the same time.
Oh well, it's time to eat. As botanas or appetizers, there are hongos al apazote, mushrooms sautéed in garlic butter and special Mexican spice. Taquitos de tinga, soft tacos with pulled roasted chicken simmered in tomato chipotle sauce.
Muy delicioso.
Very good. Excellent.
This is the real flavor of Mexico.
Pescano Rodrigo, grouper pan-seared with cilantro, onions, and serrano chilies.
In your mouth. Perfect.
There's cochinita pibil, pulled roasted pork in orange and achiote chili sauce.
So table 33, yes?
Yes. Table 31, no.
No.
We're completely swamped.
Table 3 got table 4's order.
It's a relief, no matter how crazy it's getting anything.
One lobster, and then one ceviche, octopus, one ceviche.
Cebollitas al carbon, grilled green onions.
Very, very good. The flavors are amazing.
Finally, trufa de chocolate maya, a hot Mexican truffle cake with whipped vanilla cream. Andres and Arturo may not have been ready for Toronto, but Toronto was ready for them.
For some strange reason, it's unpleasantly good, no?
Yes, it's like a sadomasochism.
R. 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 R.
R, R, R. I'm actually confused with it. Sorry, I get tongue-tied.
Cebollitas al carbón.
Find more at fineliving.com. Real information for real people.